This Chat with the Experts is brought to you by Angie's List on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List. I am Kyle Hawk, and I'm joined today by Greg Bires of Windsor Jewelry right here in Indianapolis. We're talking about diamonds and a whole lot more today as people start getting ready for gift buying this holiday season. And we were just talking about caring for your diamonds. And you had mentioned, Greg, about how I can bring my jewelry in and have it cleaned once or twice a year. How often should you be bringing your diamond in for general care and maintenance? When I come in for cleaning, is that kind of all-encompassing? Or is there like an outside thing that I should be bringing it in and getting? You talked about the prongs and other things.
No, if you bring it in several times a year, we'll look at everything while it's there. We'll clean it, then we'll check just the general condition of the ring, and if we see anything that needs to be brought to your attention, we'll bring it up and explain why. And then we do offer that service. We have a goldsmith in the store that we can do a lot of that work in-house.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just a good idea to make sure somebody does look at it often.
Sure. And a lot of times these are pricey things. They're big purchases, and they're something that are meant to last a long time. What kind of warranties or even service options are generally available when I purchased the jewelry?
Well, some stores offer service plans that they provide with the purchase, but you have to be really careful that you're not led to believe that you're going to have some type of warranty when it may not be there. So I always recommend that you have your ring insured by whoever you have your homeowners or renters insurance with. And There's also independent insurance companies that'll insure jewelry. Jewelers Mutual is the name of the one. And by doing that, no matter what happens to the ring, no matter what the circumstances are, you're covered. There won't be any limitations, any clauses, any fine print that you might run across by just a warranty that you might be provided with at the store. And then also, probably more important, is that warranty that the store may provide you isn't going to cover loss or theft.
Right.
And so if you get a independent policy that covers all risk, that's the peace of mind you need, so that no matter what happens to your ring, it's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, that's actually obviously really smart and almost obvious, I guess. Is that something you find? Is that something you talk through with customers when they come in?
It's a question that I get asked all the time, because it's something that a lot of retail stores promote as a benefit to buying from their store.
Yeah.
And there are some policies that are good, but some of them are very vague, and they have stipulations that as time goes on you never meet. And then when you need the insurance or you need the coverage or whatever you feel you have from them, it's not there because you've missed one of their conditions.
Right.
And so that's why I just recommend have it insured by where you get your normal insurance for other property you might own, and then there's no questions asked.
Yeah, definitely wise to have all those bases covered.
Right.
We talked earlier about choosing a diamond. Let's talk for a moment about choosing a precious metal once you've picked out a diamond or a gemstone. What are some of the different options out there and the differences between each of them?
Well, we're talking about bridal or an engagement ring, you're going to want to have the ring made in either solid gold, 14 or 18 karat, or platinum. And both metals are a great choice. Some have benefits over others, but that's when you come into the store, I try and explain that to everybody. Like some people, they prefer platinum because of the uniqueness of the metal, the appearance it gives after you wear it. It kind of takes on a nice little texture, or patina they call it, that's unique to the metal. And then other people like white gold or yellow gold because it's a little harder and it retains its shininess a little bit better. But if the ring's made well, they're both good choices. And after you talk to a professional jeweler, he could explain why one might be a better option for you. And that's after listening to how you're going to wear the ring and what you expect out of it.
Yeah, and obviously budget considerations factor into that as well.
Yes, and generally platinum's going to be a little more money than a white gold or yellow gold ring. And that's budget is a consideration. So if you have a budget you want to stick with, then that may be one reason to go with white or yellow gold, because it's going to be a little less, but it's still going to be a great choice.
Yeah.
So,
and talking about something like the groom's ring, a lot of different options have come up in recent years, things like tungsten that are out there.
Right.
I wanted to get your take on some of the newer metal options that people are considering.
well, because when the price of gold went so high, the cost of wedding bands went high along with that.
Yeah.
And so the industry came out with some alternatives so that everybody had an option no matter what your budget was. And the reason they chose tungsten and cobalt, titanium, those are three metals that they're very wearable. They're very inexpensive, but they wear for a lifetime. They're the same metal all the way through, so they don't discolor, they don't change color, they don't wear out.
Yeah.
And so that's where those options were made available.
Have you seen an uptick in sales of those sorts of options in your store in recent years?
Absolutely, because they're marketed heavily, and so this new generation of bridal customers, that's what they were educated with, and
Right.
so to them it's a normal metal.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still like to buy a precious metal ring, the solid gold or platinum rings.
Yeah.
So we sell a lot of both.
Well, we talked about caring for the gemstone. I have a feeling the answer to this question is going to come back to bringing it into your jeweler, but in caring for the actual metal portion of your ring, whether that be the bridal ring
Right.
or the groom's ring, are there any special considerations there of things that you can do on your own to take care of that?
Well, occasionally just clean it yourself, then with a little mild soap and water, but make sure that you have it inspected, a couple times a year like we talked about earlier.
Right.
But even like jewelry, when you store it at night, any of your other like chains, you want to lay those out flat. You don't want to just crumble them into a drawer. And maybe your rings, if you have little individual pouches or plastic baggies, just to keep them separated. Or if you have a place that you can separate them so that they're not touching each other all the time, they're going to wear a lot better and look nicer.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that as well, because obviously, there are certain pieces of jewelry that are going to be worn almost daily, but then some that are only going to get sporadic use. And so you see a lot of, I guess, different ways of storing jewelry. And even more recently with the, Pinterest and things like that, people are finding new ways and creative ways to store the jewelry. So it sounds like kind of stuffing them in the jewelry drawer maybe isn't the best way to go, as opposed to having them spread out or laid out somewhere.
It's better for the jewelry as time goes on, if they're not bumping and rubbing against each other.
Yeah.
But that's why I always tell people if you can separate them somehow when you put them away, that's better for them.
Right. Well, let's talk about watches for a little bit, because I know that's a big part of your store as well, and you have someone on hand that does watch repairs there. What are the first steps, I guess, in choosing the right watch?
Well, watches, you really want to make sure that you find a watch that will fit your lifestyle. Some people need a very delicate, thin watch because they're in a position that they dress for business every day, and so they want more of a dress watch. And then other people are very active in their lifestyle, and so they need a more durable or a heavy watch that may be more water resistant, maybe a heavier case. So you really need to decide, how am I going to use this watch? How am I going to wear it? And then find the right timepiece that fits your lifestyle.
Yeah. So what kind of material options are there to consider for a watch if I walk into Windsor Jewelry today?
Well, every watch that we have in our store is either stainless steel or solid gold. And that's the only two metals that I recommend that somebody buys a watch in, because watches get a lot of wear and tear. They're on your wrist every day.
Right.
They're getting bumped. They're getting rubbed. And so those are two metals that are the same metal all the way through. So no matter how hard you wear a stainless steel watch or a solid gold watch, it's never going to discolor, or you're never going to wear a thin layer of plating, a silver plating or gold plating often, and down to a metal that you can't wear anymore.
Yeah. Now, with one of these watches, is it the same sort of consideration as the other jewelry, where I should be bringing it in once a year to kind of have it inspected and cleaned out?
Possibly. Some watches, like the mechanical watches that are spring-driven, like a traditional watch that you would wind up or the auto wind itself, those have to be routinely maintained about every 5 to 7 years, where it's disassembled, cleaned, and then put fresh oil in it, because it's a little machine running all the time, and the oil dries out. So that would be something you would do to that watch, like I said, about 5 to 7 years. Now, a Swiss quartz watch with a battery in it, they're less likely to have issues as far as getting dirty inside because they're sealed so well. But you have to have the batteries changed in those maybe every 2 to 3 years. Some of them last a lot longer than that, but on average, 2 to 3 years is about the normal length of time a battery will go.
All right. Well, very good. We're going to actually take another quick break here, but we've got plenty more to come. When we come back, we're going to get you up to speed on what's trending in the world of jewelry, and we're also going to take your listener questions, get you some answers straight from Greg Bires. He's joining us from Windsor Jewelry today on Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List.
Do you love a good bargain? Angie'sList.com showcases popular deals from highly rated local companies so you can save time and money on the home and health services you need most. Remodeling your kitchen? Painting your house? Cleaning your carpet? We've got a deal for that. Angie's List members even have access to exclusive discounts, up to 80%. Don't waste another day or another dollar. Start shopping now at Angie'sList.com.